Hi guys, welcome back, and our topic for today is going to be optimizing your Windows computer. Some of the topics we're going to cover today are going to be defragmentation, disk cleanup, disabling unnecessary services, and msconfig, which is a built-in Windows tool. Now let's get started with disk defragmentation. In order to begin defragmenting your hard drive, you need to click on your Start menu, go to All Programs, go to Accessories, and then inside of the System Tools folder, you'll see Disk Defragmenter. Launch that application, and it opens up in this window. In this white area here, you're going to see a list of the hard drives connected to your PC. For me, I only have one, and it's my C drive. It's got a capacity of 112 gigabytes, which has about 92 gigabytes of free space. So, while you're in this window, you have two things you can do. You can either analyze your hard drive and see whether or not your drive needs to be defragmented, or you can skip that and just defragment your drive. If you haven't done a defrag in a long time or ever, it may be helpful to analyze and just see what kind of condition your hard drive is in. In order to analyze, you just click on the button, and what it does is it goes through all the different files on your PC and checks to see how many of them are fragmented, and then it displays a nice little colored graph for you here. So you can see the blue is contiguous files, red is fragmented files, green is system files, also known as unmovable files, and then the white is free space not being used at the moment. So this window here that just popped up after you finish the analyzation will tell you, as you can see, I've defragmented my hard drive recently and I do not need to right now. But if I had, I can just click the defragment button here in the middle and it'll go ahead and run. Otherwise, I can view the report and get a general idea of what kind of condition my drive is in. As you can see, total fragmentation is listed here, and it's only at 1%, which is pretty good. Anything above 10% usually warrants a defragmentation to clean it up and get all your files contiguous again. Basically, what defragging your hard drive does is it takes all your files and puts them contiguously next to each other. Because of the way hard drives are built, some files can be spread out all over different parts of the disk, and this will slow down your read times because the hard drive needs to search all over the platter in order to find just specific parts of a file. If you have them all contiguous, it can read them in consecutively, which dramatically reduces the amount of time needed to access a file, and you'll notice a big performance difference launching large applications and opening large files. So that's defragmentation. Our next topic is going to be disk cleanup, which similarly is located in the accessories folder under System Tools. It's called disk cleanup. What this does is it analyzes your computer for unnecessary files, temporary files, recycle bin files, files that you don't need or haven't touched in a long time. And what it's doing right now, as you can see, is it's calculating and scanning my files and seeing what files I have that can go and basically clear up hard drive space. This is especially helpful when you have a hard drive that's near full capacity and you're just trying to squeeze some extra space out of it. So as this runs, we can start looking into disabling services, since this is going to take a few minutes to find all the files. To disable services, you'd go to your control panel. And for many of you, this may not be the default view that you see. You may have a little box on the left-hand side that asks you to switch to classic view. And you can click on that, and you'll get generally the same icons, but maybe not in this list format. However, in order to disable unnecessary services, you go to Administrative Tools right here, and then click on Services. This will launch an application listing all the different services running on your PC. You can go through this list here and see the files that are all the services that run when your computer starts up, which may be slowing down your load times, your boot times, and you can go through and disable ones that are not necessary. I do recommend verifying which ones are and aren't necessary using Google or some other source in order to make sure that you're not disabling something crucial to Windows functionality and crash your machine. So to do that, you would just go to the properties of one of the services, and then you can set it to manual, automatic, or disabled. If you want to disable it, you just disable it. Manual means you have to start it yourself, and automatic means it launches when your computer starts. Alright, so our disk cleanup is finished, so let's switch back to that. As you can see, it lists several different categories of files that are unnecessary to my machine. Downloaded program files, temporary internet files, offline web pages, recycle bin, temporary files, things like that. Generally, I click everything and clean them out when I do a disk cleanup by checking the boxes left of the items. That way, when you click OK, it will ask you to perform the actions, and then it'll go and clear out all the files that were in those categories. It's freeing up extra hard drive space for you and making your computer, making your hard drive less cluttered, and also giving you more room in the event that you do have a highly filled hard drive. And now our last topic is going to be the msconfig utility that's built into Windows here. To do that, you just click Start, and you go to your Run prompt, and then type in msconfig. Oh, it'd be nice if I could type. Alright, msconfig, msconfig, then click OK. This launches an application that you can use to control other startup applications on your Windows machine. This works both in XP and Vista. They do appear a little bit differently between the two operating systems, but they perform basically the same way. With the startup selection, I don't normally mess around with these. Normal setup is normally fine. That loads all your drivers and everything. When you start doing diagnostic and selective, you may disable some necessary drivers like video card or network card, which can create kind of a headache if you're trying to get on the internet or anything like that, or play some games. Your system INI file, you can make various edits to that. I would also use a secondary reference to make sure you don't add anything that's going to crash your machine. Same with these other two INI files, your boot file and your win INI. Don't mess with those unless you know what you're doing. Services. This is also similar to the services we were just looking at. However, this is ones that automatically launch. So the easiest way to disable unnecessary services in here is hide all your Microsoft services by clicking this checkbox right here. What that does is now you can see all the services that are not operating system oriented services. You can disable them as you please. If it's an application that you don't need to run right away, you can disable it by right clicking and saying, where is it? It's just by clicking in the checkbox next to the item. Same with the startup. This is just applications that run. Again, verify which applications. Some virus scan software will have applications that run in here and may not be named, similar to the virus scan software that you're using. So basically, just be cautious. And then the tools, well, this is basically, it'll launch, there's different system tools that you can use, like Task Manager or System Restore, things like that. You can get to all within this menu, which makes it nice and easy. So that's basically it. Those are the easiest ways to optimize your Windows PC without having to buy new hardware. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions for future videos, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks.